The Trickster. Now it's been a few months since the launch of the All Kill chapter. It's time for the Trickster's post-launch review. This is something we do for all the new killers once they've had a few months to settle into the game. By the way, everyone said Trickster was probably going to be the worst killer in the PTB. But as I said before, even if in the PTB we see that the killer is weak, they will take a while to do anything about that. I did say this before. So yeah, they need more data. They take a while. So they've had a few months to settle into the game. Reviewing the data, the Trickster tends to fall on the lower end of the roster, even among the top few percent of Trickster players. That's not good. So we feel comfortable making some improvements to bring him up a few spots. So as you know, I think Trickster is pretty much the worst killer. It's either him or Clown. Clown is 115%, so he gets a bit more map pressure, but Trickster's probably got better anti-loop. Maybe. I mean, he does at certain loops. Some loops where he can't throw over, obviously, is very, very bad for him. Okay, so we made several changes to Laceration to make it more tense back and forth battles, for starters. Right, so the number of knives required to damage a survivor has been reduced to 6, down from 8. You will later realize this is only 1, not 2, because they've nerfed one of the add-ons, which was one of the most used. He used to be 7 to down using that add-on, but they've nerfed that add-on, so it's technically like you have one add-on slot 3, but it's only 1 more knife. So it's been reduced by 1 if you were using that add-on, 2 if you weren't. Okay, so it's not much. Just one more blade. It's not much, and they've nerfed a lot because of that as well. But yeah, so there's that. Where are you actually? Okay, there. I need to grab where I can see. Okay, you see up to there. The delay before Laceration Decay starts has been reduced to 10 seconds, down from 20. That's a big nerf to Laceration. That means that you know when he throws blades in you and you have all the cuts. After 10 seconds, they start disappearing instead of 20 seconds. So even more 4-more play where you need to just continually tunnel. Because if you do leave them long enough, you'll start losing the stacks. So a tiny buff to this. Depending if you're using the add-on, it's 1 faster. And remember, guys, do remember, we played Trickster in the PTB. In the PTB, you could already have, I think, less than this to down. I think it was 4, weren't it? How quick could you down with knives in the PTB, guys? Can you remember the thing they nerfed? They had an add-on which reduced it by 1, so it went down to 7. But they also had an add-on where you bounce it off something, it does double damage. It was 4. Yeah, so in the PTB, where people were still calling him weak, you could down him 4. And this is 6. But we'll see. The rate of decay for Laceration has been increased. Oh, that's a nerf too. To 0.3 while running and 0.4 all other times. Up from 0.2 and 0. Wow. Okay, so again, because they've buffed this by 1 if you're using an add-on. Or 2 if you're not using any add-ons. They've massively hit on Laceration. So not only does Laceration, not only does the knives what are in you start going quicker, 10 seconds 10 seconds faster. They also are quicker at going too, 0.3. And 0.4, so it's almost half a second. You lose one every half a second after 10 seconds has been done. So that's a huge nerf for the 4v1 play. Even though he don't really have any real 4v1 play, it's one of his biggest weaknesses. That's a huge nerf for it because a lot of people won't really be keeping their the Laceration. Also, do remember, guys, for some reason, Legion has this weird mechanic where if you throw loads of blades into all 4 survivors, if you down 1 survivor, all the blades disappear from all survivors instantly. So he loses all laceration from all survivors once you've downed one person. No idea why, but he has that mechanic in him for some reason. I guess they're keeping that. Together, these changes should make chases quicker and more interesting. The Trickster will be able to down survivors much faster. One blade faster is much faster. Don't know about that. It's faster, but it's not much faster, I don't think. But a good survivor may be able to break line of sight for long enough to start decaying their laceration meter. That's not on the survivor, that's on the tile they're at. It doesn't matter how... Like, you do need to know how to use the tiles, but it doesn't matter if they, you know, it's the tile they're at. If they're at a tile, the Trickster can't throw over, he can't throw blades into you. So that all matters on the tile. Additionally, we've reduced the amount of laceration lost for hitting a survivor with a basic attack. Oh, okay. So I didn't notice this. So they've reduced the amount of laceration lost for hitting a survivor with basic attack from 4 to 3. We've accidentally run into a survivor while throwing knives before swing away. I still don't know why this is a thing, by the way. Why are you losing laceration when you're going for a swing? Like, going for a swing shouldn't lose any laceration, right? Because you swing. It's like you throw like 5 blades into them. You swing, and then you've got 1 blade, and you can down them. Right? That seems smarter. Also, technically, this is the same, and this is my thinking around it. Because you down quicker, this losing 3 instead of 4. Actually, yeah, this pretty much will be the same. It'll feel the same because you down quicker anyway. So losing more stacks doesn't. Does that mean much? I don't think that means anything anymore, right? This is like a pretend buff, but doesn't actually change anything, right? Because you down quicker, right? I'm not sure. It's weird that. From 4 to 3. Whatever. Yeah, it's like a small thing. Again, I don't know why you're losing laceration from the hit, but there you go. Maybe it's intended as a buff. I think it is a buff. It's just weird because, like, you already do down quicker. So it takes 3 away. So if you've hit them 3 times... and then I'd reset them, you need to hit them 6 again. You'd hit them 4 times, you'd reset them, you'd need to hit them 8 again. Yeah, I guess it's whatever. It's really weird. I don't know why he loses it anyway. Next, we'll look at main event. Main event would activate fairly frequently, but the long activation time often meant the survivor could break line of sight before you had a chance to start throwing knives again. I think the main problem with main event, this is what they've touched on, which looks like they've at least looking at. But I think the main problem is you're slowed down, I believe, and you can't vault, and you can't attack, and you can't break pallets, and that's where it gets really hurt. So as soon as the survivor gets to a certain position where you need to vault or you need to break a pallet, you're fucked. I think that's the main problem. But let's see. Often the survivor could break line of sight before you had a chance to start throwing knives again, making it difficult to use at times. With that in mind, we've made the following changes. Main event activation time has been shortened to 0.5 seconds from 1.5. That's decent. I still don't know if I want to use it, but that's decent. But they've nerfed it where the number of knives required to activate main event has increased from 30. That's from 0, by the way. So you need to have at least 30 blades to actually activate it. So that's actually a nerf. Let's get there. And then you can see... Where can you see? Here. So yeah, they've made it where you need 30 blades. I mean, it's a bit bad. Like, from what okay, what else have they got? Increase the amount of time you can hold main event up to 30 seconds from 10 seconds. That's not where main event is weak. Main event is weak. They've touched on one of them. It's activation time. That's something they've actually touched on. That's good. But it's weak because you are trapped. So it's weak because you need to activate it. Wait. Oh wait, no. I misunderstood that. You can hold main event. That means that the activation time lasts longer, but it doesn't mean that you're in the main event for a longer time. Okay, never mind. But still, why are you holding it? Why is it not just an activatable thing like Orne? Like whenever you can use it? Why does it have to be like this 4 more thing again? Oh no, that's it. The chase with him sunk cost fallacy, and the main event is 4 more. That's the one. And you need to have 30 blades as well. I mean, it's going to be a bit better. There's only one nerf, really, and that's where you need 30 blades. The activation is decent. It will help, 100%. It does double damage as well, doesn't it? Main event. Does it do double damage, guys? I can't remember. 30 blades hit... 30 blade hits to charge it. Oh... How many was it before? Yeah, never mind. I thought it was how many you have. You have to have. Yeah, I got you now. Okay, so you need to hit them 30 times, and then you've got it, and then once you've hit them 30 times, you have 30 seconds to activate it, or it disappears, and then you lose everything, i.e. 4 more, right? I mean, the only thing I can see what's good there is the activation time, honestly. Increasing the number of knives to activate it, obviously that's a nerf. Having it so you can, you don't have to press it instantly is a bit of a buff. But again, like, why can't you just activate it when you want to? Why are you forced to activate it kind of, before it goes, and then you have to just get it back again? It was worded poorly. They usually do word very poorly. Some things I don't understand straight away, the way they write it. Anyway, with these changes, we aim to make main event less frequent, but more meaningful when it does activate. By increasing the time it can be held before it must be activated. Yeah, there you go. You'll have more freedom to choose when to activate it. 30 seconds. I mean, they're not wrong. It's 3 times more freedom, I guess. And when you do, you'll be able to use it more effectively when you do, thanks to that lowered activation time. Last but certainly not least, it could sometimes be difficult to tell when your blades were hitting survivors. To improve the feedback, we have added hit indicators that appear when the survivor was hit. Are they taking the piss? Are they going to give us like a COD fucking X? Then they're just going full meme. I kind of want them to do that because it'd be fucking hilarious. I don't know about you guys, but I knew when I was hitting with Trickster. I didn't think that was even a thing. But, I don't know. Maybe people didn't. I don't know. It seemed quite obvious. They were quite high-pitched, bing, 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 bings. Okay, so... with base changes out of the way, we also need to look at a few of the add-ons. Most add-ons have been behaving as expected, but there are a few outliers that fall significantly above or below the rest that we need to adjust. Starstruck was solid, so they won't touch that 100%. Right? That was solid. Oh wait, add-ons. Never mind. They're going into the perks later. Okay, so Melodus, is that how I say it? Melodus Murder. With the number of knives... This is what I'm on about. This is the one, I believe. With the number of knives required to injure reduced to 6, leaving this add-on as is would be a little too much. Even though, remember, in the PTB, you could down in 4. And they're saying downing in 5 would be a bit too much. And in the PTB, even then, people said Trickster is possibly very weak. Remember that. That was the feedback given. It was from me anyway and some others. So for them to say that 5 blades would be a little too much, I don't know where they're getting that info, honestly. It might be, but I don't know where they're getting it from. With that in mind, we've reworked this add-on completely to give increased reload speed at lockers instead, which isn't bad. That is one thing what hurts him, the reload time. No one knew how to play Trickster back then. He's one of the easiest killers to play, you know? He's kind of like hip firing with an SMG, as opposed to a, you know, aiming down sight with a bolt action rifle. That's the way I see him. 5 blades down would be insane, but 6 is fine. Okay. Let's see. Fizz Spin Soda, previously granted the effects of having already thrown 3 knives. Oh, okay. That's how it did it. Wow, is that all it did? What? That's all it did? So it just started you a bit further in? I don't think they ever said what it actually did. Now they're actually saying what it did. That's way shitter than I thought. I thought it just increased speed just in general. But now they're saying that it just acts as if you've thrown 3 knives. Which means that it's a bit quicker. Like, once you keep throwing knives with Trickster, they go faster and faster if you didn't know. This one's a slight tweak. The bonus has been decreased to the effect of 2 knives. Right. Okay. Let's see. Iridescent photo card. Now when a survivor is 2 or fewer blade hits away from the maximum, they will be exposed. That's very good. They've overbuffed that for some reason. It's an array. But this one, like, I don't even, like, it was fine as it was, in my opinion. Because I believe you can injure them with the knives, and you can also down them whenever you want, right? So that's a massive, huge, insane buff to one add-on, just randomly. Like, that add-on's almost broken. Unless I'm not understanding it properly. But it's basically saying if you're 2 blades away from the maximum, you'll get exposed. But you also will get injured if he keeps throwing them anyway. You think Trickster's better than Huntress? You know, you can. Definitely don't see it. Descent, thank you for the 50 months. Appreciate it, man. I would say Trickster's easier than Huntress. I'll give you that. I definitely don't see Trickster being better. Death Throws compilation. I believe that's how you say it. This is another one that needed a change due to the lower laceration meter. To prevent things from getting out of hand, now Death Throws compilation will replenish the Trickster's knives when main event ends. It's okay, I guess. Lucky Blade and waiting for you watch. Okay. These add-ons didn't see much use before, so they've been reworked with a completely new effect. Hitting a survivor with a blade during main event will extend main event's duration. I have a feeling they might still not be used. Last but certainly not least, we reviewed the Trickster's perks and made changes to both No Way Out and Hex crowd control. No Way Out, this perk can do quite a bit, but it can be also be very consistent if you're missing a token or 2. If the survivors are preoccupied with the gates, if survivors are preoccupied when the gates are first powered, it's possible they'll completely miss the effect. With that in mind, we have. So they've increased the base time of the perk to 12 seconds. From what? Maybe I'll say it lower down. I don't use this perk. It's synergized with NOED, I feel. Increase the bonus time for each token to 12 seconds. The perk only activates when a survivor interacts with the exit gate. Oh, okay, that's huge. So it only activates once they've touched the exit gate. And you'll receive a loud noise notification. Okay, that's solid. God, this is such NOED synergy, man. It's insane NOED synergy. Yeah, this is stronger. You're going to be seeing this with NOED, I think. These changes increase the potential maximum time from 46 seconds to 60 seconds, but they also extend it because you need the survivors to touch the exit gate as well. So, yeah, that's a huge buff to that perk, which is, in my opinion, designed for NOED. Like other things work, but not to the same extent. That's really strong. Seriously, that's actually a decent perk now. I don't think you need to have NOED. It's just that it'll be really good with NOED. Hex crowd control, a simple adjustment, but one that should have a big impact. Increase the time the window stays blocked from 14 seconds to 20, so 6 seconds longer for a hex. I still don't think that's anything. And then, oh wait, can you see these? Oh, you can't see these. God damn it! I almost did it all perfect. There you go. That was the last thing I saw. And then just visual updates, tutorials, HUD improve. Oh, I forgot about this. Shit. Okay, this is yeah. Okay. I hope you're ready for this one. They're from what I see here, I see that they're going on survivor priority. The survivor's vision is the one what prioritizes the killers, which I assumed when I saw the grab thing. And it looks like they're pushing that for the pallets as well now. So, this is pallet hits, and it also talks about gen grabs, right? And the gen grab thing is like, it's almost a bit like the humoring killers, the way they say it. You'll see. But yeah, that's Trickster anyway. And then let's go into this. So, game health, pallet hits. In this mid-chapter, we aim to address some of the most frequent and annoying issues for Survivor you can run into while playing. One of the things topping that list is getting hit through a pallet well after you've dropped it. Before we get into the solution, we'll run through why this happens in the first place. Latency. That's literally all you have to say, but let's see what they say. The first thing to note is latency, the time it takes to send and receive information to and from other players. Latency is a fact of life in any online game. It takes time for information to travel across the country to the players you're playing against. Yeah, so basically this is how dedicated servers work, and this is why you're seeing... This might actually fix Dead Horde exhaustion, by the way, guys. If they completely prioritizing Survivor, it might fix Dead Horde exhaustion. So the way it works, and I've said this before... You have a dedicated server you all join to, right? But all your pings are different, right? And if your pings are different, you're going to see things at different times because you're pinging to the server at different times. You're seeing different moments in time, right? Because it needs to ping all the way to server and it needs to ping all the way back to you, and then you get the information. It does that multiple million times, right? Throughout the whole game, okay? So the closer to the server you are, the faster you get the information to what's happening at that time, right? That's basically how it works. That's how dedicated servers work. I believe there was some disconnection where if you had like maybe a good... Once if you have a bad ping... It's weird. What happens if the survivor has a bad ping though and the killer has a good ping? Is it going to prioritize the killer? Because it seems like they're prioritizing the survivor. So what happens then? Whatever. Let's just see anyway. Bit of a tangent. So, time it takes for you to send and receive the information and to and from other players. Latency is a fact of life online game. It takes time for the information to travel across the country to the players you're playing against, or the server you're connected to. This delay means that you see that what you see and what other players see can differ slightly depending on connection strength and distance from the server. Yes, that's rollback. I will talk about the rollback. You know when you grab someone on a gen, that's rollback. You're seeing them there, but it's prioritizing the survivor, so it's taking it off because the survivor actually reacted on their screen, so it prioritizes what they did and takes away what you did. That's what rollback is, and you'll see that more now because they're putting it onto pallets as well. So you know what you were seeing on gens, you're going to see that on pallets. We do what we can to reduce latency as much as possible, but it's impossible to eliminate it entirely. So how does this apply to pallets? Simply put, each player sees something different. Yeah, I've said this to you guys. I've said this is exactly what it is. The survivor sees themselves throwing the pallet before they get hit. The killer sees themselves hitting the survivor before the pallet is dropped. Very true. This is exactly what happens. And so far, I believe it'll prioritize the one closest to the server. So say if the killer has like a 20 ping and the survivor has like an 80 ping, if the killer hits you, but you put the pallet down on yours, you will get hit because he's pinged to the server quicker, right? So the person with the best ping gets priority. But what I'm assuming is it doesn't matter what ping it is, they're just going to give survivor priority. But let's see. Duffany, thank you for the 4 months. Thanks for being awesome. I try to catch streams as much as I can. You really give good ideas and feedback on the game. Appreciate it, man. Descent, thank you for the 50 months. I said that, didn't I? So yeah. To give you a better idea of what this looks like, take a look at this simplified diagram. They do a really weird looking diagram. So I'm assuming that's them putting the pallet down. And then that's them getting hit. So let's try and think. So the survivor puts the pallet down. But then the killer hits. And then the killer dies. No. Then the killer swings, sorry. And then the killer gets a hit. And then they get hit. This diagram's really fucking weird, guys. It's really weird. So wait. So is it starting here? So they put the pallet down, the killer swings and hits, and then they get hit. This doesn't make sense though. The killer would have to do it before the pallet's down. So the way I would do it is the killer hits, then you put the pallet down. No, sorry, the killer swings, then you put the pallet down, and he hits as you're putting the pallet down, and then you're injured. But you also should say what ping they're on as well. The survivor's on like 80 ping, and the killer's on like 30, right? I don't think this is simplified, personally. They haven't even put what pings you're on or anything, and where you start from, and what the, whatever, maybe they're just going to say anyway. Here you go. In this example, the survivor drops a pallet first. Okay, so the survivor drops the pallet first. Can I do that so you can see all of it? No. But the killer doesn't see that until they've already swung their weapon. So, drops the pallet. But the killer doesn't see that. So they've swung their weapon, right? As a result, the killer hits the survivor. Hits the survivor, but then gets stunned before they've hit the survivor in a different time frame, which is further on. Even though they did that before. What? This isn't so bad when both players have low latency, but it can look very strange and unfair when latencies are high. Yes. So the best latency gets priority, right? That's how it should be. The person with the best latency should have the priority. This is really weird, guys, I feel. You're too dumb for this. No, the diagram's bad. Like, they're saying that they've put the pallet down, right? And then that's gone to the server. And then the killer's hit. Like, they're not telling us the information the killer's getting from what the survivor's doing. They're just saying it's going to the server. They're not showing what the killer's getting. So I guess you should just, like, get rid of that. And then say, right, so the killer's done that. And then they've been stunned or hit or whatever this icon means. I think that's them getting stunned, right? So they attack and then they get stunned. But these have put the pallet down and then they get hit, even though they stunned them. Put the pallet down. In between all this, then they've got hit. I guess it kind of makes sense. It's just weirdly done, man. So basically what they're saying from Survivor is they've put the pallet down, that's gone to the server, and then what the hell, they've got hit, right? Later. Even though the pallet's down, they shouldn't get hit. And the reason is the killer doesn't see this, so they've hit and then got stunned. They need more information to really give you an idea of exactly what's going on, and they need a ping, because there's no ping. But they've tried to oversimplify it, but they could have done that better, in my opinion. But yeah, it gives you the gist, but it takes out so much important information, what should be shown. So it's just like, we're going to show you this, and then we're going to say why we're going to change it, you know, without really explaining it to you, like, and taking out loads of information. But whatever. Okay, so what's going to change? Simply put, the server will become the judge. When you either drop a pallet or swing your weapon, that gets sent to the server. If the server receives a hit before the stun, the killer hits the survivor as they normally would. But if the server receives a stun before the hit is rejected. This is similar to how hit validation works now. The diagram would look a little like this. So, from what I'm seeing, is if the server receives a hit before a stun, it's just going to be the exact same. You'll hit them, but they'll still put the pallet down on you. But if you receive a stun before the hit will be rejected, just like when you're trying to grab someone off a gen. So it looks... I don't know if survivors are going to be prioritized, actually, but it looks like if the survivor has a bad ping to you, nothing's going to change. But if a survivor has a good ping to you, you're going to get fucked. That's what I see. Because this is going to be the exact same scenario. If you have a good ping as killer, you're going to hit them and get stunned. It's going to look the exact same. But if survivor has a better ping than you, which you have no control over, by the way, you can have the best internet in the world and you still could have a worse ping than survivor. Because it depends where the server's located that you've all connected to. So yeah, the only thing, so for killer, it'll be the exact same, and for survivor, if you have a better ping to the server, fuck you, killer, right? You're going to get prioritized, and the killer's going to have a bad time. That's what I see. This is similar to how I said that, didn't I? So, and it basically gives you another diagram where it's like, survivor puts a pallet down, the server's like, what's a grab all about? Why have they put iron grasp there? Wait. As you can see, the server receives the pallet stun first. Wait. And then knows to reject the killer's hit as a result. Is that rejecting its hit? Is it saying that's like the equivalent of grabbing someone off a... I think that's what they're doing. Is this the kind of a symbolic representation of you grabbing someone and then it being rejected and then it goes into a stun? So yeah, I think I see what they're doing. So survivor puts pallet down, boom. Server's like, okay, we've got that information. Killer attacks. Okay, we're gonna roll this back. You don't get this, and it's gonna push back to you. You're stunned. That's what I think they're doing. So yeah, killer won't notice anything, and survivor with a better ping to the server will. That's basically what I get from that. This is funny. This is like humoring the killer a bit. This next thing, the grab thing. As you see, the server reaches the pallet stun first, then it knows to reject the killer's hit, which is this. It's rejecting it. It's rejecting the hit. As a result, that said, we have not changed how the mechanic of a pallet stun works. If the pallet will still need to be approximately 50% of the way down. So the pallet needs to be 50% of the way down. So you can't actually hit people any less than 50% of it down. Even though, obviously, IRL, you would be able to do that. I mean, you would be able to hit them over for them, so I guess that doesn't really matter. So yeah, you don't actually need to have the whole pallet down. But it does need to be 50%. So but basically what they're saying is if you've put the pallet down, but you put it down as they attacked, you still will get hit, and that's not latency. That's just because you did it too late. Okay. That's basically how it works already. Yeah, it is. But they're basically saying, like, look, what we're doing does work, you just didn't do it quick enough. Grabs. On the flip side, We've all been there. You sneak up to a survivor, you go for a grab, nothing happens. You hold your hand out menacingly and watch as they run away. Why does this happen? A lot like pallet hits. I've said this. It's rollback. It's rollback with latency. Though the one thing I don't... So someone tell me this, guys, right? If they're prioritizing the best latency to the server, why is it so consistent that when you grab a survivor, you never really get them? You always... I would say 99 times out of 100, you do the grab and it rollbacks. Are you telling me 99 times out of 100 I have a worse ping to the server than survivors? So I don't know what's going on there. It doesn't make sense to me. So I feel that they've given survivor priority with that. But I don't know. It's weird. I don't get it. Anyway. We've all been there, blah, blah, blah. Why does it happen? A lot like pallet hits. It comes down to latency. Each person sees something different. The killer sees himself grab the survivor before they can run away. The survivor sees himself run away before the killer can grab them. And apparently we always have the worst ping as killer because it happens way more consistently for killer than survivor. When the server receives a grab request from the killer, it notices the survivor is no longer there, so it cancels the grab. Again, here is a diagram to visualize this. So I'm assuming the survivor's running away and then you're grabbing them because you saw that they were actually on the gen. They're missing out a lot of information to make it better. They're not the best at... This is called an infographics. I've done infographics before. Infographics can actually be quite good. I did them in university. Their infographics are trash. They miss out so much like important information. But you get the gist, especially when you read it. But they're not good. But yeah, whatever. So what's the solution? Okay, so this is where I feel that they're kind of humoring Killer a bit. The solution for this is much more complicated, so it will come in two parts. The long-term solution and a temporary solution to bridge the gap. I don't know why this is more complicated than than pallet stuns, guys. But yeah. It is, apparently. I guess keys are just like keys, right? They were more complicated. The temporary solution, whenever a grab is rejected by the server, the killer will instead swing their weapon automatically and be granted challenge progress and blood points as if they had successfully grabbed the survivor. Wait, yeah, I'm showing it. So you know that grab where you insta down the person and then get massive pressure? Well, you won't get that, but you'll get blood points. And give them a free sprint burst. That's why I say it's kind of humouring. I kind of find it funny. So you see that person, you grab them, and then it takes off the grab and you swing and you hit them. Grabs on hooks, yeah, that's true. I guess we'll see what happens with that. There'll be a free unhook, that's true. Oh shit, you're right. A grab unhook will be a free unhook. With borrowed. Yeah. Wait, I need to go up here. Anyway, so that's the amazing infographics. The permanent solution, we will rework the way interactions and interrupts work from the ground up with dedicated servers in mind. Our current system has not been significantly changed since the days where the killer was the server and had full authority over grabs. Yeah, that's true. The killer used to be the server, and it was peer-to-peer, and you connected to the killer's connection. Back in the day. As the survivors were connected directly to them. And with that, we've reached the end of this month. Blah, 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 blah. There you go. I read the whole thing. Trickster stuff. The changes to blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. Took us a long time, actually.